Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. We're GabNet, and we've got you covered live 5 nights a week. First Tuesday through Friday at 9:30 Eastern, it's The Exchange.
Harlan Ellison totally insisted that there were no sounds in space on Babylon 5. Watching it for 20 minutes will clearly show that there are sounds in space. So what the fuck are you pulling this out of, Mr. Harlan Ellison? That pretty much cemented the idea of who Harlan was in my brain.
Tuesday through Friday at 10 Eastern, join Alex Bennett on the Ramble.
You don't think Bill Clinton's a pervert?
No, I don't.
Go ahead.
No, I really don't. I think I think he's a man who let his dick talk for him. You know, I think he's a guy who was pursued by a young woman and should have said no, but he didn't. Now, the only woman I ever talked to that fucked Bill Clinton was Jennifer Flowers. She kept saying during the interview, you know, I really did have sex with Bill Clinton. And I asked her the question, I said, that's not what's important to me. What's important to me was he a gentleman? And she said, he was terrific. She said, every time we'd have sex, the next day he would call and see if I was okay. He never dodged my calls. If I wanted to call him, he was absolute gentleman.
Tuesday through Friday at midnight, The Intersection.
We now know that Trump doesn't hate all Democrats. He at least likes the Democrats who he perceives to be as crooked as he is.
Ah, wait a minute, ring that bell!
I mean, between Menendez and Blagojevich, you know, who we pardon.
If you like sports, we've got that too, with The Arena, Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
There's a lot of long-ass games come knockout round because they have to finish. So you have to play up to 120 minutes plus a penalty shootout. Kick.
Catch up on all the shows with our weekend flashback. All shows have the Citizen Panel, an exclusive concept of GabNet. It's new, it's daring, it's talk like you've never heard it before. You love GabNet. You love the hosts and the Citizen Panels. In fact, you wish you could take them wherever you go. On your computer, log on to gabnet.net, where our stream is available around the clock. On your TV, GabNet is available on Roku with the same around-the-clock stream, plus all the latest episodes of GabNet programs, old favorites, videos, and tons of celebrity interviews. When you're mobile, we're on your iPhone or iPad with podcasts accessible via iTunes or Stitcher, and that same around-the-clock stream on TuneIn. If you don't want GabNet wherever you go, well, the hell with you. Go ahead, listen to your old-fashioned talk shows that do things in the same old predictable way. Meanwhile, the rest of us will be having fun listening to talk like you've never heard it before on GabNet.
Hi, everybody. This is Alex Bennett, and I've had a long and interesting trip. It's called life. And for years, people have demanded that I write a book about it, and while I've been a writer, my main talent has always been that of a broadcaster. Over a year ago, I decided not to write the book, but using my best skill, I decided to tell it. It's called Life in the Passing Lane, and I described it as an audio biography. It's presented in 30-minute chapters, so it's easy to binge listen. And you can access it on the GabNet page by clicking on Life in the Passing Lane and going to a page with every single episode, plus some extras. If you want to access it on your mobile device, that's easy too. It's on iTunes. It's Life in the Passing Lane, an audio biography by me. I'm Alex Bennett.
Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Hey everybody, wait a minute, let me get my camera. There we are. Hello. How are you? Oh. My camera, it's changed. Only half the on the air sign is up. Wait a minute, let me look here. Hold on just a second while I fix this. We got to get this fixed. We can't have it like this. This is not good. This is not a good thing. Configure video, and then I go up here, and then I go, oh, I see, pan. Okay, there we go. All right. See, folks? Ah, that's how we do it. Somehow things got changed as we were doing this. And over there, and I had to do this without her being there, so she's a little bit down in the frame. A little bit down in the frame.
Is that better?
Huh? No. You sit up straight. Hold on a second. I'll get it. Hold on a second. I'm just going to do, let me see here. What do I have to do? I have to do that just a little bit. No, that's, I go down. Oh, there we go. Oh, there you go. That's perfect. Oh,
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. That looks great. That
Happy
looks
Friday.
Great. Happy Friday. There, put the mic towards you.
Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday, everybody.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. Dun, 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 dun.
I took the day off.
You took the day off. What else is new? You never work anymore.
I do work.
Yes,
I work very hard.
Huh? You work hard? Do you? She does, actually.
I do.
She does work hard.
Long hours.
And you know, all of that, it was also part of that was having to get her knee fixed. And doing you're doing like
all the
physical
therapy that I have to do.
I sent you to my guy because the guy who did my.
But I sent you to that place.
Did you send me to that place?
Yeah, it's where I went for my neck.
Oh, okay, because you said it's right around the corner from where you work, and so I figured that's convenient.
Yeah.
So that when I'm through, you can then go home with me, right?
Right.
And you never went home with me because you're always having dinner with somebody else.
Late lunch,
dinner. Okay, let me put it this way. It's a late lunch, right? So you have your late lunch. And then it's dinner time for me.
Right.
And I'm cooking dinner, but you say nothing for me. I had a late lunch.
I just ate.
So you actually had dinner.
Well, it depends on how you look at it.
That's how I look at it. You know, you've got a lot of friends you go out and have dinner with.
Well,
you know, I don't have any friends at all.
Well, whose fault is that?
It's my fault.
Yeah.
It's my fault.
Look at my knee.
What?
Look at my knee.
What do you mean I can't, but they can't see it?
But you can see it.
I can see it, but they can't see it.
But you can see it.
Yeah. It's a very nice knee.
It's healing.
Yes, it's a broken wing. Yeah. I mean, that really, you know, I really, every now and then I would like to find the person that knocked you over.
The 4 tours that we're looking up.
Your screen is all askew there. Look.
What
Look, over there. Your screen. Look,
what about it?
It's kind of cattywampus. There we go. It was driving me crazy. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. So you had...
The tourists.
Yeah, the tourists who knocked you down. I sometimes go, I wish I could find them and wring their neck.
Well, they did help me up, and they would have walked me back to my office, but Hans was walking
Oh, no, they were very nice about it.
They were very nice. But I mean, we didn't know it was broken.
But after it was all over, they went away, and they have no knowledge of what happened to you.
Exactly. Well, first of all, when they were helping me up, I couldn't put any pressure on this leg, and that's when I knew something happened to the leg, because it was so painful.
I know, but here's the thing.
They didn't know.
They didn't know,
No.
And they're probably, I don't know, back in...
Wisconsin.
I thought you said they were foreigners.
Well, foreigners to New York, I don't know.
Yeah, well, anyway, they were tourists.
They were tourists.
And they're probably back in Wisconsin, and they don't know the full story of what happened to you and that you are still suffering with this thing.
And it's going to be a year. He said 9 months till I'm 100%. Now it's a year.
Well, who said it's a
The
year?
doctor.
A year?
Yeah.
Of what?
So I'm 100%.
Oh, boy.
And that's a year out of my life.
Yeah.
And at this point in my life, I can't afford to lose any years.
Yeah, and at your age, you don't heal as well.
No one heals that well at this
I mean,
age.
if you were 20 and this happened to you, you're probably, you know.
It would heal faster.
You might not have broken it.
Well, I have osteoporosis, so I'm sure any bang. I mean, look at all the breaks I've had. You know.
Yeah, well, your bones are brittle. Mine. Look at the fall I took.
It was a minor fall, Alex. It was a little tiny trip.
Oh yeah, like mine was tiny and small, but yours was big and. The only difference was you had damage and I didn't, but I took a real plot.
But you're still complaining about it.
No, I'm not.
Listen to you.
Look at this. How many weeks is it later and I still have... Look at that.
Listen to him, ladies and gentlemen. See, I rest my case.
Well, no, but I mean, I'd like a little pity for my fall.
You've had the pity.
I didn't have any pity.
Yes, you did.
No, you didn't.
It's even in your clip. Are you okay? I said all that. I came right over to you, and I thanked the guy to help
Well,
you
I
up.
mean, obviously, if you fell or I fell, your first reaction is going to be, "Are you okay?" You know. So.
My boss said it's in the DNA of men that right away when something happens, they're there. They're there for the very few, the first few days that it's needed, they're there. And then all of a sudden it stops. And I said, why? He said, it's just in our DNA.
What did I do today?
I don't know.
See, you forget. Why should I even do it?
You went downtown.
No. What else did I do before you left?
You bought back.
Before you left.
I have no idea.
I hugged you.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. And I hugged you back.
So it's not over with.
And I hugged you back.
And I said, you look adorable, and I always feel so sorry for you with your leg and stuff. And I hugged you, and I held on to you for quite a while.
Yeah, that was good.
That's because I took the nice pill last night.
Yeah, I made split pea with sausage.
Yeah, but I can't have the split pea.
Well, that's your problem.
It's against my religion.
It's your problem, not
In
mine.
my religion, we don't have pea soup. It's not kosher. It's not
healthy.
What do they call halal? No, it's not halal because it's got ham in it.
It's made with ham hocks and it's got
Well,
sausage.
I'm sorry, but I'm kosher and I can't have your pea soup.
Well, then you sit and eat nothing.
What am I going to do? I'll go out to White Castle and get some burgers and bring them back.
Okay, they're coming at 1, so we'll be eating probably by 2.
Okay, so that'll give me time to run down to White Castle. I'll get a big box of the burgers.
The first time I got high on grass, the first time we did this whole thing with White Castles, the tiny little ones that are like quarter size.
You have to do that.
They were so good.
Don't you hate it when something goes under something and you can't grab it? Anyway, White Castles, I never... To call them a hamburger, I think, is belittling hamburgers.
There was the forerunner of sliders.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I'm still hurting from the Novocaine.
Here we go.
Here we go. Anyway, no, but those were they were called sliders.
They weren't
people called them sliders. It was a nickname for the White Castle hamburger.
Right, but
so other people, when they did it, since they weren't White Castle, called them sliders.
But it wasn't until years later that sliders became very popular.
Well, because it wasn't until years later that people took White Castle seriously.
They still don't take it seriously. Only when you smoke pot.
The only time I ever had, like you, the only time I ever had White Castle was when I was stoned out of my fucking mind, and it seemed like it was a good idea.
Yeah, and not only that, the first time I got stoned, I was expecting it to be like a liquor high, and it wasn't. I'm saying, this is nothing. It's not working. You're high.
Well, no, that's the thing about marijuana, is that the first time you do it, you don't know you're high.
You have nothing to compare it to.
You have nothing to compare it to. My mother, when she came to New York, I said, well, I do marijuana, Mom. She goes, oh, it's terrible. I said, would you like to try it? So we had her try it. But somehow, for years, she said she smoked. But how she smoked...
I did the same thing with my mother. My mother smoked cigarettes she never inhaled.
My mother, too.
Okay, so when I gave her the pot...
My mother didn't know how to inhale it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she said, nothing's happening.
Yeah,
I said, well, you see, I'm getting high and nothing happening, so don't get mad at me. My mother, I'll tell you a great story about my mother. My mother came to visit, and she stayed at my apartment. Now, there's nothing worse.
Where were you living at the time?
I was living on 14th Street.
Oh, New York.
And my mother came to stay. And she decided to come for 3 weeks.
Oh my God! I would have put her up in a hotel.
Now, I had her sleep in the living room on the couch because that's all I had, and she wasn't.
Give her the bed?
No, because somebody once told me you never give up your bed
To your mother?
to your mother, anybody. Because that's where you sleep. But I mean, it was a comfortable couch, and she was not complaining about it or whatever, and. It kind of puts a crimp in your dating life.
Well, no shit.
So what I decided was, fuck mom, I'm going to go on with my life as usual. And the bedroom was all the way down the hall, and then the living room was all the way at the other end. So whatever went on in the bedroom, but women would come over and spend the night. Okay? And then tell me what a nice mother I had. And they would spend the night. So there was a procession of women over the 3 weeks that came and stayed with me. And finally, at the end of the 3 weeks, right, my mother said, I really don't approve of your lifestyle. She says, all these women that have paraded through this apartment over the last 3 weeks.
She said that?
Yeah. And she said, and I don't like them much. And I said, well, which one don't you like? Which one do you think is the biggest, I guess, I didn't say it this way, but the biggest whore, right? And she said, oh, that Barbara girl, I don't like her at all. I said, well, her aunt and uncle wrote The Way We Were, and she's a illustrator for books, for book covers. I said, she, of all the women I'm going out with, is the most accomplished and comes from a great a Long Island family, I said, which one, did you like any of them? And she said, well, I really liked that Rhoda girl. She was very nice. And I said, you know what she does for a living, Mom? I said, no. I said, she's in porn films. Well, after I got the stick out of her mouth to keep her from swallowing her tongue, she was such a bad judge of character.
Most mothers are.
And not that the person who was doing porn had any less character than the woman who was doing book illustrations, but, when she decided who she liked and didn't like, So my mother left, and my sex life got back to normal.
3 weeks, wow. I would have put her up in a hotel.
But my mother stayed with me, and I wasn't going to change my lifestyle just because my mother was there.
You should have stayed at their house.
And by the way, that advice about never give up your bed to other people was my mother's advice. She had given it to me years earlier. She says, when people come to stay, you make sure you have a place for them to sleep, but don't give up your bed because that's your place, And I thought that made a lot of sense.
It did. I don't think I ever gave up my bed.
Yeah, right. But anyway, and my mother wasn't 100 at this point. I mean, she was 75 or something like that. But, I mean, it was 3 weeks. 3 fucking weeks.
That's a long time with Mom.
Yeah. Did your mom ever come to stay with you?
Not 3 weeks. It was always when I lived in when I lived in New York, they would come up and then go back the same day. It was just a visit. Or I would go to Philadelphia and come back. But when I lived in D.C., it was on their way to Florida or their way back from Florida. They would, spend a few nights and be on their journey.
Well, did you like your mother?
Yeah, we were close.
Okay, because usually I understand that women and their mothers always have issues.
No, I was close with my mother. We spoke every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mother, I wasn't that hot about my mother. I always thought she was kind of stupid. And
all my girlfriends liked my mother. In fact, they would come and visit my mother when I was away at school. I
never had that kind of, I always felt guilty about that. In fact, I went to a shrink once and I spent, about 25 sessions, or as you would call it, $5,000. They were cheap then. Trying to get over a girlfriend. And finally I said, it's 20 sessions. I'm pretty much over the girlfriend. He said, well, and what else would you like to talk about? I said, well, I have problems with my mother. And he said, well, what problems do you have with your mother? And I said, I don't like her much. And he said to me, oh, that's natural. Now let's talk about your girlfriend. And finally, that's when I decided not to go to the shrink anymore because, you know, I forget about going to the psychiatrist every week, all right? I got over the girlfriend just because she wasn't around anymore, you know.
My mother and I had a joint session with my shrink when I lived in Washington, and my mother was so nervous. I mean, she said, do you talk like that every time you're with her? Because, yeah, no, there was open session.
Well, I had money to piss with. I could piss money back in those days. So I went to a shrink every week. I don't know why. You know, I was just trying to get over. I mean, I had to go to one because...
It's always the end of a relationship that drives you to a shrink. It did with me.
Well, it drove me to a shrink because I was completely... I had the inability really to do stuff, to work well. So I wanted somebody to keep me on an even keel so I could go in and do the show every day.
Has it been fixed?
No.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if
I'm still grieving.
I have something to look forward to.
I'm still grieving over her.
My mother couldn't get over how open, you know, we were going to sit there and lie. I mean, what's the point then?
Yeah. No, I was really, it's amazing how depressed I was. I mean, I had classical depression.
Oh, like I didn't see it the other day?
Well, the other day, that was because of something else altogether.
It doesn't matter. It was major depression.
It was another woman.
It was major depression.
No, you know what the depression was? It wasn't you.
I know.
And I told you at the time it wasn't you.
I said, I don't want to talk, get out of here.
I came back from the dentist, and I was so depressed just over the way in which it went down.
Just a dentist. It was just a thing. It was beyond your control.
Haven't you ever had anything happen to you where you suddenly you go, this really put me off? It just put me off.
Not like that.
Well, anyway, I told you, I said, I don't want to talk about it. I'll talk about it when I want to talk about it. Just leave me alone.
You didn't even say it that nice. Huh? I don't know.
Do I talk like that when I'm depressed?
Well, you know what happened? I come in from work and I said, hi, I'm home. I didn't hear anything. And I knew you were there. So I thought, oh my God, maybe he's dead.
Well, that's always the thing we think. When late at night, when she's sleeping, but she isn't moving at all, I kind of poke her just to make sure, you know, that she's awake. I think every older married couple should wear headgear that has a mirror on it, so you can see if there's breath. But anyway, so you thought I was dead.
Well, I didn't hear anything, and I yelled a couple times.
I was depressed, and it only got worse when I noticed that the filling she put in got loose.
You allowed it to get worse.
But this thing is a work of art.
Okay, enough. Let's not talk about it.
Everybody want to see it.
Enough. You know something? It's 10:23. I'm going to roll over.
No.
It's going to take me 7 minutes.
No, it's not going to take you 7 minutes to roll over.
I have an injury. I have an injured wing.
Well, then you shouldn't move too much.
Look at this. It's still swollen.
I know you. That's good. That's. I'll tell you though. I have to say something about the doctor. You have a scar. That is just the cleanest, nicest scar I've seen. It's the kind of thing that you go, see, this is where I have my knee problem, and everybody can look at it and go, oh, gee, that's a pretty scar.
But you know what's amazing? The scar was glued together. He used glue.
Well, they do.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that.
You know what they use?
Elmer's glue.
Basically, it's what do you call super glue?
No, they use
super glue was invented as a skin adhesive. That's why if you get it on your fingers, they stick together. You have to pry them apart. That's what it was, and so I think that's what they use. I mean, they probably use a more sterilized version of it, and it's probably a version where that little tube.
There was one stitch at each end. That was it.
It comes in a little tube the same size, but that tube, because it's used for fixing your knee, cost $3,000.
I'm sure. How much was my thing? You said it was 20.
Oh, I looked at your. And this was just for.
This is minor.
This is just Mount Sinai Hospital. This isn't your doctor.
Oh.
Mount Sinai Hospital. There are two different bills, and they total $25,000.
To me, well, the anesthesiologist.
Yeah. And as opposed to other things, where like I got something today from my neurologist. They said they wanted $16 out of me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I paid him with the card, and it's very nice to do online now.
Yeah, I do.
But anyway, so that's great, right? $25,000. I got paid $16 on a $200 visit or whatever. On your $25,000 tells how much they pay, how much
Right,
Medicare
right.
pays, and blah 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 blah, and how
you
much
may you be responsible
and what you
for.
may be responsible for. You know what you're responsible for?
What?
Zero.
That's nice.
Zero.
That's the way it should be.
You're walking out of you just made $25,000, but $25,000 for what happened to her, to send her into the hospital and use the operating room and all of that. $25,000.
But that's just for the hospital. It's not all the doctors.
It's not the doctors, but it is the hospital. Maybe the anesthesiologist.
No,
is
that's
in there.
usually separate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it was pretty good. You know, I forgot to brush my teeth today.
What else is new?
Well, the loose one's starting to really bother
It's
me.
10:26. I can start rolling
It
over.
bothers me.
It's 10:26.
It's still bothering me, the loose one.
Turn it on. Start. Getting
No, I'm
ready.
not turning it on.
It's going to take me a while to take my knee off and put it on this
No,
chair.
it'll take you less than a minute. So anyway.
Well, let me try.
No, wait a minute. So anyway, so what are you watching? What is that piece of thing you're watching on Netflix?
I forget the name of it, but it's really good. It's about the Civil War in Rwanda, but it's happening years later where they're bringing people to trial.
I see.
And John Goodman's in it. He's good.
Is it going to be over soon?
I'm on the 6th one. I don't know how many.
The one movie that Snyder recommended this week is one that I have access to.
Well, we'll watch it.
Called what's the name of it? They Shall Not Be Forgotten, and it is about World War I and
Jackson.
What's his name?
Jackson.
Yeah, who did The Lord of the Rings and stuff
Right.
like that. Took all his technical expertise and colorized it and restored the old black and white video. And then
this is
wait a minute,
original
and-
video?
and colorized
This
it.
is a documentary?
Yeah,
Oh.
and colorized it, and I think in the theaters it's in 3D.
Oh, well.
But he won the BAFTA for this thing, for the best documentary,
They haven't had the BAFTAs yet.
or some award, some big European award. He really is being lauded for this thing.
All right, we'll watch it this
So,
weekend.
you know, it's supposed to be very good. You started watching it, and you went, "This bores me. I don't want to do this." World War II, World War I, rather. You know.
Whatever.
But it's because I
Okay.
wanted to watch
Okay.
it. No,
Yeah, I'm coming.
oh God. Well, let me hold on a second. While she's crawling over here, look at what's happening here.
Yeah, I got to get my leg propped up.
Yeah. Come on in.
I'm coming.
Come on in. Oh, you have to.
I could put it up here?
Well, no,
That might be better.
no. I don't know where you're going to put your leg. You can't bend it, huh?
I wish I could.
Yeah, well,
getting there.
consider it exercise. Oh, there she goes. All right, she's got. I wish I really wish this camera, because it's over there, I could take it and show you what she's doing. But
I could lift it.
no, there. Oh, you see, there's the bandage. This is the bandage right
It's
here.
not the. It is just the wrap.
Well, you want to see the scar? See, you can't even see it.
It goes all the way down here.
Yeah, but it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's cute. You know.
Then I have to put a wrap on it and then a brace when I go out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You see me.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, you know what I got to do? I got to put up the Skype here.
And you got to open up the whatever.
Yeah, I said open up the Skype lines.
Call.
What?
I'm good for another minute.
Yeah, let's see if anybody wants to call.
That's the problem.
See, that's the problem is getting them to call. But anyway, she's on the mend.
It's just taking so long. It's just taking so long.
And it's not going to take any. It's going to.
It's painful.
Huh?
It's painful because you have to force yourself. What happens is there's all this. What do you call it? Cartilage around where the surgery was, and you have to break that down in order to bend your knee.
So in other words, part of the therapy is not getting the knee working again, but also all the stuff around it, as it were.
What's it called?
Yeah.
It's not cartilage. But all that stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, we got the lines open,
Everybody,
folks.
we're ready. We're here. It's
See,
10:30.
See, nobody wants to talk to you.
Nobody wants to talk to old people.
Nobody wants to talk to old people. Listen, if you don't start kissing, if you don't start calling soon, we'll start kissing.
Yeah, that'll turn you off.
And we'll do tongue kissing, too.
Good.
We'll do the big tongue kiss, and then that'll make you want to call.
A few years ago, I was on the subway, and these two older couple, were really passionately kissing on the subway, and it was such a turnoff.
Really?
It was a turnoff.
I saw two homeless people on a stoop in New York City, and I said, I wish I had a camera, because in those days you didn't have a camera everywhere.
Right now, you just take out your telephone.
And they were sitting on a stoop, and above them it said no loitering, and they were kissing.
Well, that's not loitering. It's kissing.
Yeah, no, it's not loitering.
Hey!
Ladies and gentlemen, first up is Kevin, closely followed by
Charlie.
Charlie. Hello,
Kevin?
Wait a minute.
Ew.
Oh, okay, there we go. You got it, Kevin?
Hey, Charlie.
Hi, Marjorie. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Wait, what
Hi,
is
Marge. Hi, Charlie.
what is in the way of your camera there, Charlie?
Oh, that's the cover for my printer. I can move it.
Well, it just looks weird.
It's still there, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Now let's see.
Oh, now the camera.
No, now you got to get it up.
Perfect. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Let's see
Yeah.
here. Here comes Phil Meyer. Hello, Phil.
Hello, Phil.
Hi.
Boy, last night you just made me
Angry?
I know. I literally was, I think, physically sick by the time the show was over.
No, I wouldn't want to do that.
Well, you know, you were really,
Josh.
you were just getting me so mad.
Well,
Is it something about Trump? Was it about
you're so
Trump
misinformed.
who's talking?
No, here we go. Here we
we
go.
go.
Is it going to be another night like that?
Hi, Josh.
I'm not going to. I wouldn't. I don't want to make you sick.
You're just as misinformed as your leader, Phil.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, here we go.
So.
Oh,
no,
hey, listen! I got to tell you, and I'm so
did
happy.
you hear?
I'm
Did you hear?
so happy for you. According to Trump, the wall has been built.
Yeah.
And according
115
wait.
miles of it.
And according to Trump, there's another caravan coming up. A new one.
But we don't have to worry about it now because he finished the wall.
It's finishing. It's in the process.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of doors. One is carpet installers.
Yeah.
The other one is factory workers.
Yeah.
And, we actually need workers. Unemployment's so low that we need workers. I just wish that they would put together some guest program and bring them in.
We'll get into all that shit in a little while.
Yeah, after I've left.
Yeah.
Josh, how's the weather in your part of the country? Where are you again?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Skype is not working
No,
as
where
good
do
as
you
usually does. I
live?
can't
Where
see
do you-
myself on
where
here
do
or
you
anything,
live?
so hopefully you can see me.
I can
okay?
see you fine. But my
Okay,
question is, what part of the country are you in again?
I live about 20 minutes south of Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
That's cold.
In like a really
so-
small,
yeah.
like rural community.
So you must have been freezing your fucking ass off last.
Oh yeah, it was pretty cold. And then if it didn't warm up, and then last night it snowed all night long. So this morning we had like 6 inches of
Oh
snow.
my
It's terrible.
God.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So I think it's gonna probably melt tomorrow because it's gonna be like 38.
Here it's going to be 60.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
not
it's gonna be
tomorrow.
like
Well,
mid
in the
50s
next
the next
couple
like,
days,
Sunday,
yeah.
Monday,
By
Tuesday.
Sunday, I think it's supposed to be 60 degrees, which means a difference between 2 days ago and Sunday of something like 57 degrees.
Yeah, they said Chicago's going to have like an 80 degree swing or something.
Yeah.
It was 2 degrees when I went to work yesterday.
Yeah, it was like so I guess when it started like 2 nights ago, it was like 9 or 10 below here overnight, and that was the temperature. I mean, that's not the wind chill deal. That was the temp.
Wait a minute.
So it was,
Somebody did something. Phil,
Well,
did you
I
do
like it. We're up
something?
No,
there now.
I didn't touch anything.
Phil, somebody's
Well,
doing.
I can actually see myself now.
No, but somebody did something.
It's Jeff Stein.
Jeff, yeah, I saw.
If you look in the right corner of the screen, it's got his name.
Okay, Jeff, hang up and call back again, will you, Jeff?
And where's Charlie's all
Please.
the way up there?
He
Wait a
might
minute.
lose
Wait a
us
minute. What
all.
is that? What the fuck is that all about?
He's sharing screen, is what he's doing.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus!
that's
That looks like the Andromeda Galaxy.
Look! Oh boy, what do I do here?
Start again.
Jeff.
How do I
Jeff
get?
is logging out.
how-
I can see
yeah,
his screen.
Yeah.
Log out.
Yeah.
Log out. Log out. Please shut down.
He is. Hang on.
Shut down.
There he goes.
He is.
Okay, there we go. Oh,
Okay, we're back
jeez.
to
There we go.
And
Now
while
it's back.
he was gone, Ray Renati joined us.
Where's Ray?
What?
Oh, there he is.
Tell me,
He's on
because
the-
I don't use the new Skype, the new
Hello.
wonderful Skype. What is it that Jeff did that
Well, he
made that
just
happen?
shared his screen, but then he logged himself off his computer completely, so he's rebooting everything.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really tempting to share your screen. There's a little button there. It's like, I wonder what happens if I push this.
Yeah.
And then boom.
But how
shared
do you
your screen.
Now we have full screen Alex.
How do you unshare your screen?
Push it again.
Yeah. Can you see each other now and everything fine?
Jeff's not here.
Hey,
We
everybody.
just have you.
Do you just have me?
Oh, wait a minute. No, I think we just drag our circles down.
Yeah,
There we
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Right
just
for you.
drag them.
Where's Jeff?
Isn't that new Skype wonderful? Isn't it terrific?
Sucks.
It's
So
just
bad.
inconvenient. It's all right.
Sucks the big one.
So is there a way, I heard you guys talking like a week ago, that you can go back to the old version?
Yeah,
Is that
there's,
right, or what? Because
there's
I tried to find a way and I couldn't.
Yes.
I have Windows 10.
go back.
You have to find a secret website.
Okay, for the Windows machines, what
I'm
you
leaving
do.
all the IT
Okay.
people and saying good night.
Good night. Mwah.
Good night, guys.
I'm glad you're doing a little better.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't
Keep
wanna-
moving that knee.
I don't want to hear this again.
Anyway, yeah, here we go. Here comes Jeff again.
Hey, Jeff.
Jeff, do us a favor. Don't ever push the button that says share. Because that was, you know, Skype is so wonderful that way. It was nice to share your screen.
Well, he's a generous guy.
No, but when I was
Too bad there was no porno on there or something.
Yeah,
That would have been fun.
Yeah.
You didn't see the porno?
Yeah, well, anyway, what was I
Good
going
thing I didn't share my screen.
Where was I? What was I talking about?
Skype.
Oh yeah. Here's what you do if you want it, Josh. It's called. You go online and say old versions of Skype or something. You'll come up with several sites that have old versions of Skype, and you want the one that is 7.36 something. I can't remember. Hold on a second. Maybe I can get the whole.
Okay.
Whole
Yeah, because I
number
must
there.
thought about it. If not, I was just going to take my old laptop, which is Windows 7, and just start bringing it in here if I call, because that's the old one that I used to have to use the headset and everything on, because it still has the old version, because,
Okay.
it can't update.
Okay,
something.
it is.
And it was great.
Yeah, go to Skype, old Skype, and find some sites that have old Skype, and then go download 7.36.0.101. Okay, and that one, for some reason, they can't stop. Everything else you can't use Skype unless you upgrade to the new Skype. But with that one, for some reason, they're stuck with it. Now, I think that will work. If not, there is a page that I went to. Let me find this for everybody, because a lot of people hate.
Make sure you uninstall the new one completely first.
You have to uninstall the new one.
I made that
completely.
mistake.
Yeah, and then you go
Yeah.
to. I'll tell you the. Oh no, that's not it. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let's screen two here. Let me find it here. What's the name of the site? It's.
You should link it on gabnet.net.
No,
button.
I don't want to make a big deal out of it.
Oh.
Okay. Where is it? It was. No, that's not it. That's not it. I'm trying to remember what the. Oh, here. Download Skype Classic. And if I remember correctly, yeah, this is the page. Go to winnytips.com. Winnytips.com. It's WINYTIPS. And then I guess you will come to a page, and what you want to do is download Classic Skype. And there's a whole description, because he's got a download thing for the one that he downloaded. And then you use that to download it.
Okay.
But let me see here. Yeah. Just type in, I guess you could type in the, what is it? You go to, just type in the term download classic Skype in their search engine there.
Okay.
You'll find that, and down at the very bottom, initially they have you download something, but that doesn't work. And then further down, they have an update, and it says download classic 736.0 whatever, and then click here. And it's down at the bottom of the page. Up above is stuff they were doing initially. I know this is confusing people, but I'm just wondering where online you could go.
Josh, just leave the circles.
Yeah.
Yeah. This new Skype is. I mean, I know you don't want to spend the whole show on it. It's fine. I'll figure it out.
It sucks on Windows.
Yeah, I heard some people talking about it like a week or two ago on here, and I was like, man, how did they get it? Because this new Skype is terrible. I mean, I cannot believe that they even someone got paid money to think this shit up and put it out. It's like,
you know what's weird is it's okay on the Mac, even though Microsoft owns it, and it's horrible on Windows. I don't get that.
Right? It's terrible.
Let's see here. Let me go back to that and download Skype. Let me see here. If I were to go into search here, download Skype, load Skype, okay, in the search engine there at winnietips.com. Let me see if it comes up. Okay, let me just do that. Nope, that doesn't show it up. Oh,
I found a link for them that said download classic Skype 7410101.
Yep, that's it. That's it.
Okay.
You found it. Okay, you found it.
Yeah,
Good.
I just think in their search box, I just typed download, or I just typed classic Skype.
Oh, okay. Just in the search engine thing, classic Skype.
Yeah, I actually typed classic Sky because for some reason the P button on my computer is not working, which is pretty common with Windows. You seems like you get a key or two that doesn't work here and there, and you'll have to restart your computer. But
no, you know something? It doesn't. I does the same thing with mine. It won't let you do the P.
So it must be their website.
It must be their website. Yeah, but you do that, and it. You download Skype Classic is what you can put in, and they will that will allow you to get this one version that they've found. What it does is it doesn't exactly take you to a site that lets you download it. It takes you to this guy's what do you call what's it that mailbox thing that let me see if I can find out where it takes you exactly.
Dropbox or something like that?
It takes you to a, not a Dropbox. It takes you, download a classic Skype. Wait a minute. Download Skype Portable. No, I don't want that. Where is that? It doesn't seem to be doing it now. Hold on. Download Skype Classic Portable. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want the... Where... What happened to it? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Download Skype Classic. It's down towards the bottom of the page in a big red covered thing. And what brings up is it takes you to his OneDrive. And it has that particular version, which supposedly is completely free from the wonderful line of
must upgrade.
Must upgrade, yeah. The only thing it does is it constantly will ask you if you want to download the new version. My thing is, once you get this, keep a copy of it on your desktop. So if it ever, and also, by the way, when you go in, put that Skype in, immediately go up and turn off automatic upgrades. Okay. Yeah. If at any time you upgrade, just get rid of the upgrade and go back and use the one you've got on your desktop to reinstall it. Okay. But actually, I like it better than the one that was the last one I could use, because the last one I could use didn't put everybody's name at the bottom of their picture, you know. And that looks terrific, you know, and everybody can tell who's talking and what their names are. And
yeah, I thought the one that they had when you first started the show was fine. I mean,
hey, listen, you know.
Alex, I could be wrong, but it seems to me that the picture resolution is better on the older one too.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's fine. Yeah. I don't know that it's better, but it's fine. It is really, I think it's terrific, but who knows? Eventually, the people at Skype will figure out a way to fuck this one up. But if you go to this guy's OneDrive, which he has you do, and it's the one he lists in kind of a red background area towards the bottom. That one supposedly is not coming from Skype. It's something that somebody hacked with or whatever to make sure that they couldn't, force you to. But it will constantly say, "Do you want to download?" That happens. That's the minor annoyance in it all. But it's just so much better than what they've got now. And I just don't know what they were thinking. I understand you want to make a product better, but it was really good. And you can make it better, but you don't have to make it different. And what it did to me in doing this program is that I pick up the part of the screen that is the Skype panel, and I put that into my switcher here, and I get it, right? You can't do that with the new Skype. It'll only do it on my Mac. It won't do it here on the Windows. And so I have to have another program to do it with, and that program will only take one person's picture at a time. It's horrible. In other words, if I had to go to the new Skype, I would have to stop doing the Citizen Panel, at least as presently constituted. I'd have to go back to doing an audio-only show. And so I'm glad I found this fix, at least for the time being. And every Monday I come in and I say, "Is today the day that they found a way to stop me from using it?" But apparently they haven't. So, but I don't know what is wrong with Microsoft. What is their thinking about something like this? You make something better. You don't make it worse.
Are you going to go to your Mac Pro pretty soon to do your show?
No, I'm putting the Mac Pro in tomorrow. And I think it'll happen without incident because I've got the whole thing set up in another room, and it's just a matter of bringing it in here and setting it up here.
But you're not going to use it in lieu of the one that you're using?
No, because I could use I don't know, maybe I could, but I don't want to have to.
I figure it's just got a lot more power, and
no, but
it doesn't give you the Skype problems that.
Well, I don't. Wait a minute. What do you mean it doesn't give me this? I don't have Skype problems with Windows, with the Windows machine.
You did?
No, I don't. I had problems with the new Skype, but I didn't have problems any other way. In fact, this Windows machine has worked beautifully for doing the show. I do the switching on it and everything else. But I might see what I can do with Skype on the new machine. But would just change a lot of stuff. So I mean, it's my last fallback because that one I can use an old version of Skype and it doesn't force me to upgrade.
Right.
That's the good thing about the Mac version because Microsoft doesn't give a shit about Mac, so they just forgot about it.
That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah.
But Alex,
what? Ray,
you muted again.
You have all that software set up on there to get onto YouTube and everything. You'd have to redo everything on the Mac, and who knows if it would even work, right?
No, it would work.
Oh.
I mean,
Okay.
that's not the big problem. The big problem is that I to begin with, for some reason on the Mac, though I'm going to have to test it on a couple of occasions, but. There was a tendency on the Mac for the video, the audio and video not syncing up very well. Now, I don't know if that was because of the machine or whatever, but, we'll have to see. I'll be playing around with it. But hopefully I get this thing installed tomorrow. Hopefully I just bring in the hard drives I've been using and the external hard drives and hook them up. And get them going, and then plug this thing in and plug all the displays in, and I've got it working in the other room perfectly. So the question is, will it just work perfectly when I bring it in here? And I don't see any reason why it won't. Okay, so if at the very least it's going to be an easy install tomorrow. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a new board. new mixer board.
You don't want to use the one I sent you?
I don't have room for it here in this studio in front of me. I don't have room. That thing, you know, it goes from here to Poughkeepsie. You know, I can't use that. But there is one that's exactly this size, made by Mackie.
Yeah, just make sure that how many aux sends you have. You want at least 4.
Why? I don't use my aux sends now.
Well, once you learn how to do a mix minus, you will.
No, the mix minus on that is simpler.
Yeah?
Yeah, you simply do it through the USB. I saw a whole thing on it. It's just you hook it up we just do a certain thing with saying this goes to this and this goes to that on your preferences, and then you turn off the USB in the thing, and it was a whole thing. It's very simple. It's not a big deal. It's not. You don't have to have all the didn't say a word about aux sends. Okay. So, yeah. But I mean, I don't care. I haven't had mix minus on this ever since I started doing it. Have we had any real problems?
Slapback.
Occasionally, once in a great while. You know, and you might get the slapback anyway, because we don't know that isn't a Skype problem, rather than a mix minus problem. The only advantage might be that if I go to mix minus, you people might be able to hear me when I yell at you because you aren't bringing the sound down and things like that. But I don't know that will fix that problem. Hello, Charlene.
Hi.
Yeah. You know something? I'm bothered. We haven't heard from Renee. Since the first of the year. So I worry about her. I think she's still alive because people say they've seen her on the chat. Did you say that, Kevin? You saw her on the chat?
Saw her once, yeah.
When?
She is around.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think we pissed her off. I didn't think she ever got pissed off about anything with us. But I worry about her when I don't hear from somebody that long. And while I
you
don't...
know what's scary?
What?
Mike Allen over on the intersection has not been on in weeks.
I know.
And no one could get a hold of him. I talked to her sister-in-law. She doesn't know where he is, and no one knows what's going on with the guy.
Yeah, Mike Allen is a guy who Jack got by default because I kicked him off the show. And it wasn't that I disliked him, but to begin with, that voice drove me crazy.
Yeah, the cigarette hacking.
Yeah. So
we're worried about him.
Yeah, I'm worried about. I was going to bring him up next because I'm worried about him that he's not okay. You know, you know, it's funny because we do a show like this, and if somebody just suddenly disappears, we don't know whether they're alive, they're dead, whatever. And
yes, Scott Boddicker hasn't been around either, right?
Well, yeah, but Scott, we know Scott's around.
He was on yesterday.
Yeah,
he was on the intersection.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, Scott has a, you know, he calls when he feels like it. You know, he calls when he hears that Phil isn't going to be here. You know, that's the advantage of a Phil-free night is because we get Scott Boddicker.
You know, Alex, I felt bad for you last night. Like I wanted to call, but I couldn't.
Well,
I listened to the show, and
by the way, Ray,
some other people.
Ray, I think we can hear the air conditioning.
Yeah. I'm gonna close it because I don't have enough battery to turn off the mic, and I'll come back on later when I get home.
Okay. Great. Talk to you later.
Thanks.
Okay.
Right.
Bye-bye. What were you saying? You
Bye.
felt sorry for me last night? I felt sorry for me last night.
I know. I listened to the whole show, but it was really exciting, though.
It's hard to defend such a poor position.
Phil.
That you had to defend.
Phil, you were such an asshole last night.
I didn't think so.
You know, and I love you dearly. You know, you're a long-term friend, and I think the world of you. I know people find that difficult to believe because, you know, he really is a horrible human being. But nevertheless, I've been pretty good about with him. But last night, you were just taking such idiotic positions on things that it was.
I will say you did stand your ground. I mean, you did
whatever ground that was.
Yeah, I know, but he did stand there.
Yeah, but I mean, he would
as asinine as it was. He did stay there.
You would stand up for stupid stuff last night. You know, I mean, come on, come on, tell us something you don't like about Trump. Come on, give us something. There's got to be something.
His home,
especially today.
Especially today.
Yeah. Why? Because he's going to have an emergency build the wall. From what I understand, there's been 58 emergency sessions since Carter, and most of them are still in place.
What do you mean emergency? What do you mean?
Not in a session. What does he say? He's going to declare a declaration of emergency.
National emergency.
State of emergency. Right. And
that's usually for a flood or something that's blown up or something else. You know, it's not imaginary people coming over walls.
We're going to make a lot of money on fentanyl. You know, they just got, 252 pounds in a cucumber truck?
Yeah, but they could have pulled that out of an evidence closet.
Yeah, but that was in a truck coming down a road through into the United States. This wasn't no wall would have stopped this truck.
No, well, they got that the normal way.
The border patrol people seem to feel that a barrier in certain places is warranted. And
only some, and those are
if they got that fentanyl off of a sand rail or something in the middle of the desert, and the guy was coming across in a sand rail with a couple of trailers behind him or something, maybe he'd have a point. But they got that coming through the border,
so
in a container.
Yeah,
so that's where you're supposed to get them. That's
but
where
what happens.
You don't need a wall.
Is if you have a barrier or a wall, it funnels then the traffic to the proper crossings.
It doesn't matter. That's where he
but they're not using.
That's the way he went anyway.
They're using those crossings right now.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, they are.
Yes,
but how many other people?
Oh, here we go again.
Crossings?
Here we go again.
And they're not
I can't
able
take it tonight.
they're not able to find the stuff.
I wish I had a gun. I'd blow my brains out right now.
You want to borrow a gun?
Yeah.
Put on your helmet. Put on your helmet.
Charlie,
Alex.
you said something there. Let me hear what you had to say, and then Charlene. Yes, Charlie.
I said, so we don't need a wall then, if we can catch it coming through the regular way now.
Right.
That's the point.
Charlie, how do you know what they're not catching? If if stuff is coming over the other way, is it worth?
They're not going to be shipping.
I haven't seen any proof that there's a whole bunch of stuff getting through that we're not catching.
Well, I'm sure,
Phil, they're not going to take thousands and how much fentanyl was this? It was
252 pounds.
252 pounds. They're not going to take 252 pounds across a desert. You know, they're going to take the road in, and they have ways of doing it. And, they caught 250, but there was probably, 100,000 that's gotten through because they didn't catch it. But it came over.
There was no wall.
But no, if a wall was there, it doesn't matter. They're still coming through the regular roads, Phil.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we want them to come through the regular roads.
Yes, and then we don't catch it.
Well, if they give them part of that stuff.
Oh, Phil, so just shut the fuck up. I can't take this again.
I knew a guy that invented a thing that they put on the side of trucks, and they could figure out if there was false areas in the truck. And
Phil,
they use
I am sure they're using everything at their disposal. All I'm saying is this stuff is not coming over a point where a fence would be built. Okay?
Yeah, but I want to keep out Al-Qaeda and ISIS.
Al-Qaeda, that's last year's terrorist, Al-Qaeda. What are you doing with your Al-Qaeda? Yeah. This is like people are going like, are you smoking the pot? Come on, what, Al-Qaeda?
Yeah. No. Hey, how about being able to kill children at birth? And it's legal in New York.
Well, I have a problem with that, but let Charlene take this.
Oh, yeah. Well, Phil stole my topic because I was going to bring that one up as my topic.
Oh, and you can have it.
I have to keep remembering because otherwise I'll forget. I was watching CNN, and Trump is now lying and saying that he's building the wall like out of his own funding, but it's a lie, and that's why he's going to try this emergency thing. He's lying to the stupid idiots that still listen to him, and saying that he's building his own wall.
He said it's already been built. Today he said it's almost finished.
Yes, right.
He's not lying, Charlene. He was just laying down.
Another bad joke.
No, but you want to get back to the abortion thing here in the state. Did they pass that today? Because I don't watch the news that much. What, Charlie? Yeah.
The only time you ever do a late-term abortion like that is when the life of the mother is at risk.
No, and now, from what I understand,
arbitrarily decide to do it.
In New York, they Cuomo passed some deal where these late-term abortions are up to the woman and the doctor, and
that's how it's always been.
Well, no, not in the 4th trimester.
Right, now it's murder, though, because usually it's murder. So now they're saying that they can
it's not murder.
Make a baby that early? I mean, that late.
Yeah.
Baby.
4th trimester is after birth.
Yeah, if the umbilical cord, I think, is still attached. I mean, this is what I hear on the news. I don't know how much of it's true.
Well, if you try to give an abortion to a woman who is going to give birth a couple of days later, chances are that baby's going to come out alive.
Yeah.
So this idea of a late-term abortion, I mean, me personally, I think that if you haven't made your mind up after 2 trimesters, then, obviously you have some serious doubts about whether you want an abortion or not. I don't think most women would have an abortion in their 3rd trimester, even if they didn't want the kid. They would.
What was the reason?
With sonogram. Especially with sonogram.
Yeah, but what was the reason for them wanting this, and all sorts of issues about the Catholic Church and?
I think from what I can see, and I don't have time to read it right now, but it looks like it has something to do with Roe versus Wade and what Roe versus Wade actually says, and the fact that they feel that women do have the right to determine for themselves if they want abortion or not, even up to the last minute. Now, how many of those last-minute abortions we're going to see, I think, are going to be so rare. I don't think you'll see most abortions you won't see after after halfway through the 2nd trimester, just because, at that point, a woman's inner mother starts coming into play.
And Alex, with a sonogram, you start to see the baby moving around and all that. Like, if they're going to do sonograms, I mean, you can see the baby's alive and they're moving around.
What's the earliest you can see that? Is it in the 1st trimester?
I don't know.
I think
Alex knows.
I really don't know. I would imagine that it's probably not during the 1st trimester.
It's late. Late 1st trimester.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you can start seeing things.
Yeah.
Heartbeat, that kind of stuff.
Isn't it a zygote or something?
You see the heartbeat real early.
The original child, the one that you would probably abort if you just did something within a couple of weeks, would be, you could call a zygote, and it's very small and hasn't developed. I mean, I think that this is the kind of decision, I've often said this, that you have to make for yourself. If I've in cases in my life where a woman has gotten pregnant, I remember my friend Kathleen, she thought she might be pregnant, and she sheepishly told me. And I said, well, good, if you're pregnant, we'll have the kid, and we'll have a beautiful child. My feeling has always been that when it happens to me, I would not be thinking in terms of an abortion, but it's not my decision to make, it's hers to make. That's second. But that I don't have the right to tell someone else what to do with their body. And that's the bottom line. Wait a minute, Charlie has his hand up, Phil.
I did too.
Well, no, not before Charlie. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've got 3 kids, and I was in the delivery room with those kids, and I saw what my wife went through during labor. And I don't think you have a right to tell any woman that she's got to do that if she doesn't want to do it.
Yes, Phil.
All right. I understand, that childbirth is difficult. But where does the right of the child's, the right to live...
has no right.
What do you mean it has no right?
Has no right.
When the child
in the fourth trimester,
can live outside the womb.
Wait a minute. Did you just say the fourth trimester?
I'm just going to say, what?
Did you just say the fourth trimester?
Yeah, well, isn't that the fourth... isn't that... three.
Yeah,
the third trimester.
I think so.
All right. At the end of the 9-month cycle in New York, they can abort it right up until birth. But
if a doctor and the patient decide that that's what's needed, it might be a health matter or whatever, but they didn't want to put a restriction on that.
To save the mother's life.
Yeah, they didn't want to put a restriction on that if the mother's life is in jeopardy.
Yep. Every late-term abortion is because of the life of the woman.
Well, I'm all for fourth trimester abortion.
Yeah,
because that way we could have gotten Trump before he became trouble. But I'm just saying that it's not our right to have somebody else to decide for somebody else what they're going to do with their body. You've got to have this child. You can't.
I just think that the child has rights too.
The child doesn't have any rights at all. If you yank the child out of the womb in the second trimester, believe me, you're not going to find somebody who can survive and go out and get a job. Okay, they're not a human being. They are a growing entity, which once it comes out, I think when it comes out of the vagina, it's then a human being. Up until then, it's the possession of the womb. What were you saying, Kevin? You're making...
Once the cord is cut, it becomes a human being.
Exactly.
It's on its own.
Yeah.
Because it's living independently.
Yeah. I think the minute that entity can live independently, fine. And usually, you see, I mean, I don't feel comfortable with somebody after the second trimester getting an abortion. I feel uncomfortable with that, but it's not my right to tell her she can't.
You remember Terry Schiavo? They ended up taking all the life support off of her, and she ended up living.
She was from New Jersey.
Yeah, that was somebody.
Is she still alive? Is she still alive, Phil?
I don't know.
I think she died, Phil.
No, she's not still alive.
Yeah, but she was alive for a while after they
for a while.
And so because she couldn't live on her own, or at least they thought that, therefore it was okay to abort that.
The humane thing would be to probably put her out of her misery, because she was never going to come out of that. She was always
there was no brain activity at all.
Yeah, and yet all you
that sounds like Democrats.
Yeah, I mean, here we go again. Somebody kill me. Just somebody kill me.
And that sounded like a Republican.
What? Somebody please kill me? Oh,
yeah. No brain activity.
Yes, Charlene.
I just wanted to let you know I don't want to switch any topics, but I'm keeping one in my head. If you want one, let me know, because I have one in my head, but I won't say it because I don't want to switch a topic yet.
Oh, okay.
If you don't want to.
No. Well, but we'll come to you probably any minute that Phil acts up. Okay, so.
Okay.
No, but I mean it's really an ethical question of how much right does the mother have. If somebody wants to get an abortion in the first trimester, go ahead. I think it's good if they get it as soon as possible, because make your decision, do it. But don't go through a second trimester and then say, I think I want the abortion. I think that, but I don't have the right to make that decision or to even offer up an opinion on that, except to say that if it were my child, I would do everything possible to convince the mother not to have the abortion. Okay? Yes, Charles.
Well, look at it this way, Phil. Why should that needs of the child stop just because it was born? If the child is born and they find out he's got some rare blood condition and has to have some transplant from the mom, nobody's going to force her to give a part of her liver or kidney or anything. She makes that decision on her own. So after the child is born, The mother has
let me
complete
ask you
control
this.
over
You know,
her
we
body,
have a
but she
right
has
in
no
this
control over
country,
her body
the life,
before.
liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and you're taking away.
Well, you have to be. You have to be. You have to be a person before babies in the womb do not have civil rights.
You can deny. You can deny that it's a
Your civil rights
person.
stop at my body.
No, you can
You have
deny
no
that it's
civil rights
not
to control my
necessarily.
body.
Somebody else can give them the liver. You know, the thing is.
Let me ask you this question, Phil.
You and many others
if you go, wait a minute. If you take, shut up, Phil. If you go into, you take a sonogram, and you find out the baby's got a face where his feet should be, you know, and he's.
It'll probably die.
Hold on a second. No. A lot of freaks get born. Okay, a lot of freaks get born, and you found out that your child was going to be a bloody freak. What would you do?
Well, you know,
what would you do, Phil? Don't give me. No, you're going to give me one of your little funny whataboutisms.
No, I'll give you the honest answer. 6 months into my ex's first pregnancy, she miscarried, and the baby was born still. But you know, I was saying to myself, you know, I really hope that the baby doesn't, you know, come out alive, because you know it was only 6 months into the term, and I guess there was some genetic issue. So anyway,
it was a Meyer.
But I didn't want the baby to die. You know, but
no, but if you
I would hope that it didn't have to go through. You know, a life with problems.
There's certain inherited diseases that are deadly. A good one would be the one that Arlo Guthrie was subject to. His father died of it, which was, I can't remember what the disease is called.
Huntington's
chorea, in which if you have a child and you have Huntington's chorea, that child has a 50% chance of having Huntington's chorea. Now, if you knew that you had Huntington's chorea and your wife was now pregnant, and there was a 50% chance that kid was gonna get Huntington's chorea, what would you do?
Oh, probably I don't know what Huntington's
chorea is. A death sentence. Okay, let me just say that.
Well,
and by the way,
I can't help this.
It's strange.
I can't help
it. Doesn't.
Alex.
Huntington's chorea
from Kim Jong-un?
Huntington's chorea doesn't manifest itself until you're 40. At 40, you find out whether you have it or not. Now, I knew Arlo, and that's what Arlo was living with till he was 40. He turned out he didn't come down with Huntington's chorea, but there was a 50% chance that when he hit 40, he would have it.
So that meant that he could have 40 years of life, and he could have.
He had 40 years of life with this sword of Damocles over his head.
Well, you know, a lot of people have sword of Damocles over their head, but it's still.
Oh,
you
like
can have
who?
40
Like
years
who?
Of quality life.
Oh, fuck you! Come on, you're not going to.
Saying that it's not.
You can always have another kid, Phil. If you know the kid that you're going to have is going to be like a freak of nature, I think maybe the best thing to do would be to have an abortion. That would be the kind thing to do.
You think so?
Yeah.
But don't you think maybe though that the larger overall point though is, you know, like Phil talking a few minutes ago about, you know, the basically if I understood it correctly, you know, his first wife and he basically, you know, lost a child that they were, you know, planning on having, and something happened and the outcome was uncertain, you know, etc. I think the larger point though is, it was probably, you know, pretty traumatic for you. I mean, there's nothing wrong with admitting that, and a time of worry and terribly stressful, and on and on and on. And I think what a lot of people who, like Charlie and them, are saying is, but what if the outcome of that had been preordained for you or told you what you have to do in that situation by a government body, which you typically don't stand for? I mean, what if there was some sort of law where your doctor said, well, this I have to do this because the government has said I must, you know,
has anybody
this
ever
child, or I must do this, and I'm just saying it would not be between you and your wife and a doctor, you know.
Well,
what
I don't think the government should say that,
you know?
but you know, the thing is, have you ever known anyone that had a mongoloid child? Most of them don't live past 30. they have a, it's a tough road to go through life. I don't know what they call mongoloidism, but but it's tough. And it doesn't. But do they deserve that quality of life?
Down syndrome.
Down syndrome. Most people say
pinheads are not. Pinheads are not.
No, but most people
look at
say
me.
that Down
Look at
syndrome
I
babies.
think that's the politically correct term is pinhead.
All right. But I see these parents that have Down syndrome babies, and many of them,
Down syndrome is different. Down syndrome is different.
Than a mongoloid?
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was the same thing. But let's say Down syndrome. That's what I was talking about. No. And, most of them die in their 30s or even before. And but should they
But you
have
see, you
the
don't know.
ability
You
to
don't.
live?
Wait a minute. I don't think you know that a kid's going to have Down syndrome until it's born. And you don't know it till after it's starting to grow up. And
It's in the chromosomes.
Yeah, they have an
It's
extra
Y
chromosome or extra X chromosome or something.
So they can see that.
No, they can't.
They do
can't.
in the amniotic fluid.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying, though, is even if you and I believe that incredibly strongly, that is a life worth living, you and I aren't having the baby.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's other people. We're not raising. We're not paying for it. We're not
having to live with a lifetime.
If my wife and I were going to have a child and they said it's going to have Down syndrome, I mean, I think that would be a little devastating in a way, but it would not. I wouldn't choose to go down that path. But far be it for me to go tell my neighbor to go down. I mean, I guess is my point.
And does the kid deserve the ability to have those 30 years? At least with the Huntington's Korea, they get 40.
Before or after they were born?
Before.
I'm sorry. Before, they are not a human being yet.
Well, you think that.
No, I don't think that. I know that
we did
because
the same thing.
Scientifically, they are not a human being. If they cannot exist outside of the womb on their own, they are not a human being.
Is an acorn an oak tree?
Yes, an acorn and an oak tree. Very good. Oh, yeah?
No, yeah, I want to see you build a deck with acorns in.
Yeah.
Go to Home Depot and buy one.
Yeah, I want one of those. I want one of those acorn coffee tables. Yeah.
I'm just saying that having the outcome for you preordained is just as much a violation of your pursuit of happiness and liberties as it is, another's. I mean, it's just your wife and you are going to have a baby, and I don't know when they can tell you about Down syndrome. I thought it was pretty early on.
I think it is.
When abortions are completely safe and completely legal, and you have that, decision to make, or maybe it's some other disease or, genetic issue or whatnot. I mean, you have that's a life changer or a life ruiner. Some people would say that, if you think it's cruel, fine, but some people say, wow, having a kid like that is going to crip my style, and I don't want that.
I was 19,
I find that ridiculous, but some people believe in that. That's happiness.
Those are the cards you get dealt.
Yeah, when I was 19, I had my girlfriend get pregnant. And in those days, if you wanted an abortion, you had to go find some guy with a coat hanger. Yeah. I mean, that was it. It was women were dying like crazy rather than have children. And that's why when they finally made abortion legal, I felt it was a wonderful thing, because at least we were going to save lives as a result of that. My girlfriend, we thought about abortion, but that was a scary prospect, and she wasn't wealthy enough, and neither was I, that we knew a doctor who would do it and call it a D&C. Okay, some doctors would do it, but they call it something else, and it would go under the radar. So she finally gave birth to the child, and gave it up for adoption. So I don't think even in that case I would have gone for an abortion, but I sure would have liked to have been able to adopt the child myself. I think I had the right. But even then, I didn't have the right to do that because the laws were different.
Yeah, you were mature enough.
Huh? Today I could make a case for the fact you don't want the child. I do. Okay, and I think I could go to court and say I'm the father of the child. She doesn't want it. She wants to give it up for adoption. I want to raise the child myself, and any court today would probably say, go ahead, it's your baby to raise. But I went through all of that, and I went through all the possibilities of abortion at a time when it was a dangerous, dangerous thing to even think of. And unless you were rich, and then you had a family doctor who knew, call it a D&C, and
Or you could fly to Europe and get an abortion.
You could do that too, yeah. But if you're a poor woman in this country, what are you going to do? You don't want to have to be strapped with a child that you're going to have to raise. And God knows all the people who are against abortion aren't going to sit there with their hands out saying, "Here's some money, take care of the kid." All they want you to do is have the kid. They don't have any way you're going to take care of that kid.
Well, you can put the kid up for adoption, and there are plenty of people that want to take care of the kid.
Maybe, Phil.
You're assuming that you have
That's a whole other psychological thing too.
Yeah.
To get rid of a kid.
Yeah.
A lot of black kids, black babies are not being adopted.
Yeah.
A lot of mixed race babies are not being adopted.
I was under the impression that there are so few babies available.
No, that's wrong.
Parents are desperate.
No, there's so few white babies available, Phil.
Babies, yeah.
Yeah, they have to go to Russia.
Black children they're going begging for homes. That's why they're always thrown into foster care and other places like that. It's because they don't have any place to put them because they don't get adopted. It's like it's terrible. It's just horrible. Anyway, you had a topic, you said, Charlene. Let's hear what you got to throw in here.
Okay. Hopefully I've got the right information now. That's why I was so excited. Now, you didn't bring this up already. There's a governor in West Virginia. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But,
no, Virginia, not West Virginia.
His old yearbook, but it was from 1984. They said not 64, so that's what makes the difference. In 1984, he was at a party or something in college, and he was either a Ku Klux Klansman or he was in blackface. He won't say which one. And they think now that he should step down, a lot of people, because he's a racist, because he had a picture like that, which reminded me of the Supreme Court Justice, the beer guy. What's his name?
Kavanaugh.
But is it the same or is it not?
No.
Because what they said was if it was 1964, he could get away with it.
No.
But because it was 1984, he should have known better.
There are plenty of other politicians that were members of the Ku Klux Klan. There was one guy from North Carolina.
Strom Thurmond.
Yeah. Now, what happened with this guy? I mean, it was a college picture. He says he's not a racist. He's a Democrat, so he could be. But the thing is, we're doing this thing where in 25 years ago, the guy was graduating college, and they had a joke, and now he's being held to account.
It's nice that Phil is standing up for a Democrat. Go ahead.
Now there was a Republican that made some racist statements recently, and he was forced to. He was thrown off the committees that he was on because of those racist statements.
Steve King,
Steve King, yes, and so now. Did they say you can't be a congressman anymore? No, they did sanction him, and they did some things, and it was more recent. I mean, these were recent things, and they took him off those committees.
I think they
should a duly elected governor be forced to step down because of something that was done?
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil, for that impassioned plea. But my answer to you is no. He shouldn't be made to step down.
And that's my.
I think that whatever he did back then, if they didn't find it out when he was running for office and he got elected for governor, then you let him serve out his term, and then you go for re-election, and you can bring this whole shit up and let people vote based on that.
And he says he's not a racist.
Well, I don't care what he says. So does Trump, but Trump is. Yeah. So I mean, but the point I'm making is that it's terrible. I think that we're doing too many things retroactively.
Yeah.
And I think if it happened last week, if he showed up somewhere in a Ku Klux Klan outfit or blackface or whatever,
like the Stephen King thing.
What Stephen King thing?
What's his name? King?
Steve King from Iowa.
The Republican congressman that made some.
Yeah, well, I mean, these are all recent things. I just think a lot of this stuff that's happening in retrospect and is happening after the fact.
25 years.
Yeah, and plus, whatever happened to us saying, "Oh, that's the folly of youth." That's the stupidity of youth. The people who are young act in stupid ways. I don't think any of people on this panel want to be held accountable for stuff they did when they were kids.
Who was the royal that wore a Nazi uniform to a Halloween party?
Prince Harry.
Prince Harry.
Yes, Jeff. Oh, your mic's. You need to turn your mic on.
Yeah,
Mike.
They didn't sanction Prince Harry.
Yeah. Yes, they did. Yes, Jeff.
Well, nothing really happened to the king, right? I mean,
no, nothing happened to Prince Harry, but they did vilify him and yell and scream about it, and he had to apologize and all of that. But it's not like you can say, well, then you're not allowed to be a prince anymore. No, I'm sorry, that's royal lineage, and you can't do anything about it. Everybody's frozen all of a sudden.
No.
Okay, they're back again.
Yeah.
They're back again. There was a freeze up there.
Well, they can make people step down. Look at somebody Wallace.
There's nothing for Harry to step down from. He is just simply a prince of royal lineage.
Yeah,
who lives with that
has
privilege.
Duties and charities.
All right, so you take him and you don't have him run his charities anymore. Then who's the loser there?
Right, but they didn't do anything like that. And, so he apologized and they moved on. And I think that's what these other people should do.
I agree with you.
Oh, he did apologize.
He did.
The governor.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
I saw the speech, yeah.
What did you think about his demeanor for his speech? Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess he looked like he was sorry. But, I think, they were making a point that they thought if it was in 64, but I thought what you thought, Alex, right away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why hold this? Like, it was a youthful thing he did. Somebody dug this out because everyone's running for president now and everything, right?
We're going back. We're going back, and we're getting too much of this stuff retroactively.
Right,
I mean, there's a time when
there
was a time in this country where certain behavior was not considered objectionable, even though it should have been. That's our bad. But you can't suddenly say, "Oh, well, you did that back then 20 years ago," because what it reminds me of is what happened to people during the 50s when they said, "You were a communist back in the 30s, weren't you?"
Right.
Yes. Well, then you can't work anymore. Wait a minute, I didn't, but I found I didn't become.
It's a witch hunt.
I didn't stay a communist and whatever, and that I think there should be a cutoff date for behavior crimes. Yes, it's not right today to pat a woman on the ass at work. Okay, let me finish. Let me finish. May I finish? No, you always got to bring up something. I never can finish a statement.
Cory Booker.
I don't give a shit, Phil. You're not letting me finish my thought.
Jeff
and now I can't remember what it was. So go ahead. What was so fucking important, Phil?
Well, Cory Booker declared today that he was running for president. And Cory Booker has a thing that happened in his past where he was supposedly did something to a woman. I forgot what it was.
Thank you for that whataboutism, Phil. It really stopped. Brought this whole thing to a screeching halt.
All right.
Alex, Jeff wanted to say stuff there. Look, he's got his hand up.
Yeah, Jeff.
The one thing I think about the governor, I think if the people who are now live in that state, and if they're so pissed off about the governor, they could re-vote him, right, and kick him out.
Yeah.
Or say,
just wait for the next election. Wait for the next election, and if you don't like what you saw, you don't vote for him.
Well, I know that's wait till the end.
Yeah.
But could they also have a discussion immediately?
Listen,
recall like happened to Gray Davis. You talking about?
Sure.
Some states don't have that. You
Some
can't
states
do that in Texas.
Yeah, some states don't have recall.
Okay. So in certain states it might be legal. The others it might be illegal. So, but I don't object if the people feel that the governor is just. I mean, it's like Trump.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people who voted for Trump really think that they made a mistake.
Well, that's why I'm not for impeachment. You know, I think that fuck you if you've got buyer's remorse. You know, that's not the way we handle things. I don't want to feel that everybody who gets into the presidency, suddenly the next thing happening the next day is people are trying to impeach them. I don't think a president should have to spend his whole time warding off impeachment. But I think if he did commit some crimes, I think they should come to light, and we should have special prosecutors and things like that. And then if they did do something, then we have to judge whether what they did was an impeachable offense. But, from the day that Bill Clinton got into office, they were out to get him out of, to get him. Whether it was Whitewater or whether it was Postal Gate or whether it was this thing or that thing, and to Clinton's credit, it didn't slow him down. But, nevertheless, not as good a man would have had a harder time keeping going in that kind of onslaught that he'd faced. And no person should have to. Yes, Charlene.
He's going to try that emergency thing with the wall thing. Now, what if he does that and gets away with it and everybody's tired of him? And what would be like an alternative? Because I don't believe in impeachment either, because...
But if he calls a national emergency for this
emergency, right? What do we do if he does that?
The Republicans in Congress will be completely against him because everybody considers this unnecessary.
Yep.
That it's not a national emergency. It's not what we call a national emergency.
And it'll put us into debt too, right? I mean, we don't need that. We don't need to spend money on it, and we'll go into debt for this, right?
Well, here, think of this for a second.
It's just more into debt.
Today, he said, well, the wall is almost finished. And that's it. They did some checking, and it's an absolute lie. Under nobody's definition has anything been built on the border during this whole thing. And if it's almost finished, then why did he close down the government for a month?
Right. To get a wall.
Saying we've got more contracts going. We keep putting up more of the wall. It's going up today. We're putting up more tomorrow. He keeps saying all this stuff, yet he's still asking for the wall.
Yeah.
The only thing is, he's talking out of two sides of his mouth.
Yeah, he's doing it Trump fashion, though. The way Trump built things here in New York, you can put your fist through it.
You can put your fist through it, but it's brand new, but it looks great. It's new design. It's all great, but it's not there, but it's there, but it's in there. It's going up, but it's not there yet, but it's going up, and I need some. He's talking all over the place.
Here comes Tim. Tim's joining us. Hello, Tim. Are you there, Tim?
Good evening.
Good evening. You want a piece of this action?
Well, you were talking about Trump today, and he talked about having all these accounts, and it was already appropriated. That was a picture in a window in how he ran Trump organization, and they would just, what they ran out of money, they just would pay it out of the charity foundation.
Yeah.
Almost definitely a mob boss type attitude.
Well, we have a mob boss as a president, essentially.
Right. It's just he's being so blatant about it. He's just blatant about it.
I mean, we voted in a gang of gangsters is really what we did.
No, based on how many lies he told today, okay? Lie after
keep
lie.
Track of them.
What's happening to Phil? Phil has completely cut himself out of this discussion now.
You know what the biggest lie today was?
What?
The jobs numbers.
Oh,
I'm sure they fudged them. I'm sure they're fudged because they can't put anything on his desk that's negative.
Look at
Phil. And I used to do numbers
now
for the Social Security Administration, and I know how easy it is to change your definitions, to change your database just slightly, and come up with the numbers you want. It's extremely easy. You could do it with a high school math education.
Yeah, but I don't think he has any control over those numbers, Tim.
Oh, yes, he does. The White House has monitors inside each agency keeping track of what it's like the SS inside each agency, and I've tweeted the news article several times of how many that they report back, and they get rid of people and demote people. That's why he got rid of a bunch of scientists. He got people doing, and they know if they got somebody telling everybody in the agency how to do things according to the White House rules.
Phil, what are you doing there? Huh?
I'm not bugging anybody. I just turned down my audio and I was listening, and I was looking to see if a thing I put on eBay sold. And it hasn't.
What did you put on eBay?
A dive computer that is very, very nice, but I can't. It's too small. I can't see any of the numbers on it when I'm diving. So I bought a big one, and this one looks like a Rolex watch, but it's really small.
Wow.
So I can't see the air. I can't see anything.
So why did you decide to suddenly beg out of this discussion?
I was just going to give other people a chance to say something.
Oh.
You seem to be getting upset with me that I kept interrupting and saying shit. So I figured, all right, let other people talk, and I'll sit back and relax.
In other words, you call
I'm taking up a space.
You're moping.
Hey,
no, I'm not moping.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah.
He's doing his Mike Pence impersonation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, doesn't Mike Pence look like a lapdog? I mean, I think if Trump went on an airplane, he could actually take him on as a pet. I mean,
he's related to Charlie McCarthy.
Who?
Pence?
Mike Pence.
Oh, really?
The biggest lapdog was Joe Biden.
Yes, yes, Charlene.
Did you guys talk about what happened? And I want to call him Oliver Stone, but Roger Stone.
Roger Stone.
Did you see the judge is sanctioning him or something because he's gloating too much and he's enjoying the limelight?
Well, I think that it's wrong of the judge to make that kind of determination. I think that Roger Stone should be allowed to do anything he wants to do because he is being thrust into the limelight. I mean, he even said it himself. He said, look, when people say things about me, I should have the right to be able to counter that rather than let them stand as and when I don't answer something because I'm under a gag rule, people get the idea I'm not answering because I'm guilty. And I think it's wrong of a judge to tell him he can do anything he wants to, but it might screw up his case, but that's up to him.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to blow it sooner or later.
Should he be allowed to use the court system as his own PR tool?
I don't think he's doing that.
It's like a
that's
book
what he's
tour.
doing.
Well, I don't think he's doing that. I think that he uses everything in his life as a PR tool. That this is a great moment for Roger Stone, who's lived his whole life wanting to be considered infamous.
Yes.
And
he's got a YouTube video. He's got a YouTube video describing instructions on how to dress for a district court hearing.
Oh, I saw how he was dressed.
but he Roger,
and he probably got 1 million views.
Roger Stone was considered a co-conspirator in Watergate, but an unindicted co-conspirator.
He's proud of that.
And he was very proud of that at the time. He said that was a badge of something, of coming into my own.
He was doing the V's like Nixon, the V's for victory.
There's something about Roger Stone I find very interesting.
I was supposed to see him at the Commonwealth Club,
but we don't
but
care.
They canceled it.
What does that have to do with the discussion here? You're just saying, hey, I almost got to see Roger Stone.
I paid for the ticket.
Boy, is that?
And he saw Giuliani or somebody.
I almost saw Roger Stone. Well, I was walking down.
Disappointed.
I was walking down Fifth Avenue, and I almost bumped into Donald Trump, but he was down in Washington instead of at Trump Tower. So.
But he's the one that got Trump elected more than anybody. He's been with him for 35, 40 years.
Well, he's the one.
He came up with the wall and a whole bunch of other memes that Trump used. And then he encouraged treasonous activity from our adversaries. That's unconscionable.
Well, I mean, Roger Stone, you know what you're getting with Roger Stone. It's never been a big secret, okay? And I think Roger Stone right now is, I think, the victim of his own hubris, because he went around saying, I got a hold of WikiLeaks and I was talking with Wiki, and he wasn't. But, he was saying that so much that because he was braggadocio that it wound up getting him nailed. Yes, Charlene.
I don't know if this is good or bad, but in my head, all of a sudden I said, oh, he's kind of like the Phil Spector of politics. What if it turns out later on that, that whole thing with Phil Spector and the woman with the gun, and did he really shoot her or did she commit suicide?
Well,
maybe later on something will happen like that.
I find Roger Stone interesting, and I defy anybody to say that he isn't. The guy that isn't interesting and is pure evil, in my opinion, was his former partner, Paul Manafort. Manafort is just a piece of shit. And these are all
trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah. If their name was Russian. Yes, Jeff.
I was very impressed with Stone today, because he goes outside on the street wearing his suit.
Yep.
No jacket. It's 10 degrees. Everybody else has got jackets and hats.
I didn't notice that, but you're right.
And he comes out shaking his hands and having a great time.
And he lives
That's a sign of mental illness. It's called flat effect.
Crazy.
That's a sign of mental illness. It is absolutely.
He's impressed by himself.
Well, also, he's like, he's in thick with Jones. What's his name?
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones. Why can't I remember Alex Jones's first name? He in thick with Alex Jones, and Alex Jones reports on him all the time, and he's there right next to him during everything and recording everything and doing interviews with him. And yet Alex Jones doesn't have a platform any longer because it's been ripped out from under him by Facebook and by YouTube.
Liberal censorship.
No, they felt he was violating their own. When it happened, if you remember, I defended his right to be on those platforms.
They have a lot of stuff on those platforms that are terrible stuff. And Nazi types and.
I'll tell you, YouTube's okay. Facebook, I really worry about. Okay, I like YouTube. I mean, I found my experience with YouTube has been very good. They are not Machiavellian about everything or saying where you can't do this and you can do that. Facebook, on the other hand, is just, I don't know, there's something very wrong about them. Let me bring up
between Apple and Facebook, that Apple closed down Facebook programs because they were doing something with the information of underage people.
They were trying to get information, yeah. All that Facebook does for a living is get data.
But what Apple did, I thought, was punitive because they turned off certain applications that Facebook used internally to communicate with their employees.
So?
Well, isn't that a little punitive? I mean...
What do you mean? It's their fucking company. They can do anything they goddamn please. Where's your sense of being a Republican, Phil? Jeez.
Well,
all of a sudden you're defending...
It's a free market. I just thought it was...
it's a free market? No, it's not a free market. I want to ask you one other question. This is just really sensitive. There's this kid Smollett, I think is his name, who is
Jussie Smollett.
Alex,
the actor.
Bring that up. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, who got beaten up in Chicago.
Claims he was beaten up.
Well, wait a minute. Let me finish, Phil, please.
He was beaten up, Phil.
No. I still, in everything that I've seen, I still question. I think at this point I'd like to see some real proof that something even went on.
He's got broken ribs.
But no, he didn't have broken
Smollett.
ribs. Didn't have broken ribs. Nope. He had a scratch
Yeah.
on his face. That was the extent of it.
Why was he wearing a noose?
And he came
Why
back.
was he wearing a noose when he went home?
And he wore a noose around his neck. Well, here, to begin with, I'd like to believe, part of me wants to believe that it's true and that he's telling a true story. Then again, there's part of me that doesn't want to because it's a horrible story, and we shouldn't have this kind of thing happen in America. But Smollett is a gay black activist. And my question is there the possibility that he kind of created this situation in order to get the publicity to get political juice out of it? That's my question. Now, I'm not saying he did, but I'm saying there's a motive there for him to do that. Let me ask Charles. Charles knows about Smollett, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, anything's possible, but I really doubt what I read was that there are witnesses to back up.
No, there were no witnesses. They don't have a security camera because he darted off of where a security camera could see what was going on. Mm-hmm. He then supposedly, while he was getting beaten up, called his manager, who then verified what had been happening. But outside of that, they can't find these people. They can't see any security camera footage of these people.
They've got two blurry pictures.
And those
two blurry figures.
And they don't think those are the people. They think they are people who
and then
could
they
tell
tried to subpoena some phone records, and they won't turn those over.
Yeah,
Bigfoot.
So I mean, there are a lot of
got a lot of questions to it.
Yeah, and what really bothers me is if it turns out that he's not telling the truth of what happened, or I'm just saying, what if that were to happen, how it would discredit, the some of these movements that have a right to their claims of problems, and to other people who would have the same thing happen to them. But right now, at this point, there is no proof positive that this event took place.
Yeah, I hope, in a bad way, you hope it happened.
You hope it happened, yeah.
Yeah, because it's a black eye, for lack of a better word. It's a black eye for that not to be true.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you be questioning whether it happened or not?
There's a lot of things that went on
because
like that.
Because there's a lot of it's really suspicious, and the trouble is there are too many people out there who are willing to believe him because it's it's claimed to be a racial incident, but yet there's no proof positive that this ever took place. That's
you know what I think it is?
What?
I think it happened, but I think it's exaggerated. I think you'll find that's going to be the
that could be a good. You might have a good point there, Tim. Charlene,
and I think that's kind of okay.
Charlene.
No, I heard that like a liquid was thrown on him or something too.
Bleach.
Right?
Bleach. They said bleach.
Yeah.
No, but then they said a liquid later. They changed it from bleach. What I saw later, I heard bleach, but then when I looked, it said just a liquid.
And
so
supposedly his manager who heard him on the phone heard them yell at him, "This is what happens when you come to MAGA country."
Oh, that's what I heard too.
Yep.
I heard that part.
Now,
and I thought of Phil. No offense, Phil.
No, but wait a minute. No, but I that's kind of suspicious to me too.
That's suspicious, yeah.
I don't.
That was supposedly heard over the phone
by his
and
manager.
They can't bring up the phone records of that time.
They won't give them the phone recordings of the of that particular call.
Is there a recording?
Yeah, I think there is. I think that you can retrieve most phone calls.
In today's world, people are accusing people left and right. Some of it true, some of it not true. It makes me think of the Kavanaugh hearing where several of those women have already recounted.
It has nothing to do with the Kavanaugh hearing.
We shouldn't even bring that up.
Phil, it has nothing to do with the Kavanaugh hearing. In this particular case, we're talking about, did this really happen?
Talking about accusations.
He's not accusing anybody. He's saying something happened to him.
Well, so did the several women that accused.
Oh, geez, Phil, just.
I'll go back to playing with eBay.
Yeah, how's your breathalyzer or whatever it is doing on eBay?
Not as good as I hoped.
I'll tell you, I swear by eBay, man. That thing I got through eBay is working just fine.
I'm going to get one.
Knock on wood. You're going to get one?
Alex, what are you buying now? You were talking about it last night. It's that thing that, I don't know, I forget what you guys were talking about. Drobo? Is it a Drobo?
Oh, no,
thing?
He's got the Drobo.
I know, Phil is a Drobo.
Yeah.
You got a different thing?
Drobo sounds like he owns a clown.
Right, right.
Drobo the clown.
He'll do parties.
Yeah. But no, the machine is terrific. I mean, it hasn't. Let me put it this way: it hasn't burned out. But what they wanted was, for $400, I could get a warranty on it if I do it within 30 days for 3 years. But if it goes
something used,
used? Yeah. But if it goes bad, I've got to mail it back to California.
So it'll cost a fortune.
If it was a warranty where I could get it fixed locally, I would do the warranty.
You'd think that they'd have a local outlet to fix those things. Why would they want you to send it back and do all of those things?
Yeah.
They got to fix it. There's repair places all over the country.
Now I know, but apparently they want to be able to repair it. See.
So this is what I'm trying to sell. It's a wireless transmitter and a watch that's a dive.
I got an idea. I think I'm going to stop doing Gabnet. I'm going to start doing like the swap shop.
Home shopping network.
Yeah, no, the swap shop where you got something to sell, Phil. What are you willing to swap for it?
Hold up an article.
Somebody with good teeth and can pull a plow.
I got 4 chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but don't you remember on radio they used to have the swap shop?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
See, this
they still do.
Just the watch part was $1,600, and the titanium band was another $400, and I'm asking $725, and some guy lowballed me and gave me a $400 offer. I said, you can't buy the band for that.
Is this a dive watch, Phil?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you can't get rid of it, Phil, you might take the $400.
Did you get a new one?
Yeah, bigger screen.
Okay.
Yeah, for the visually impaired.
Yeah, definitely the visually impaired.
Well, my eyesight's gotten worse in the last couple of months. So
yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah.
In the club.
Yeah.
When are you having the waiting room, the medical waiting room? Because I have a big thing going on with that.
With what?
They found cataract, and I'm trying to get the lenses. You know how you have to pay for the lenses out of pocket? And my ophthalmologist thinks I'm crazy.
Why do you have to pay for the lenses out of pocket? That should be taken
care of.
Well,
this is what I...
The upgraded lenses.
Huh?
Yeah, the upgraded lenses you have to pay for out of pocket.
What are you getting, blue ones?
Well, I hate glasses, and I can't wear contacts anymore because my eyes are dry. So she told me she saw I have the start of cataracts. But you have to let them ripen before Medicare will pay for it, right?
Right.
Well, they say they let them get ripe. I've had both my eyes have been done. It's not cataracts. It's what am I thinking?
Yeah, it's cataracts.
Is it cataracts that
they that's what I had. That's the surgery I had.
They put it.
Charlene, what are you worried about Medicare? How old are you? I know you're a woman.
I've already been outed, so I don't have much longer. Like another 4 years, then I'll be able to, and I'm going to be so happy. I can get 90-day, refills and all that.
Yeah.
Because that's my medical. Because I really need medical now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's all downhill now. I have the same teeth thing going on, Alex.
It gets worse.
And I know, and I've got the same thing you have, but they gave me diflofenac or something, and it's for arthritis. Now they're telling me they're giving me drugs for arthritis. I have to be diagnosed first, though, to know. I think I might have arthritis.
I got arthritis right here.
Yeah, me too.
You too?
I've had arthritis for 25 years.
Then they go and they give you a shot, which will
Welcome
take
to the
care of it
arthritis
for a
club.
while.
I've had arthritis since I was like 30.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have arthritis too, but what's helping me is the rolfing. I feel 10 years younger.
Oh God, if I have spurs in my neck,
but Phil, I got news for you. You don't look 10 years younger. I just thought I'd mention that.
Oh, thank you very much.
No, they tell me I have spurs that are coming through my spine, going into my throat. What the hell is that?
They told me I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle.
Right.
Bone spurs.
Oh, if I make jokes about spurs that jingle jangle, some of these doctors are going to get
I got balls that jingle jangle jingle.
My doctors do not appreciate my humor at all. If I go in and try to be funny, they get really mad. I told one guy I'm a hypochondriac. I was referring to you. Like, you know how, Alex, you say you're a hypochondriac?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, he went crazy on me, and he started getting really mad.
Charlene, is there a pattern here? First of all, the dentist you went to didn't like it because you talked too much.
They tried to kill me.
Right.
Yeah, they
cut your tongue off.
They tried to kill you.
Yeah, they cut her tongue off. Well, they tried to.
Yeah.
Really?
You tell me if I don't lose 3 pounds by the next visit, I'm really in for it.
3 pounds?
Yes.
3?
I feel like I'm on 600.
I gotta lose that.
Piss that out in the morning.
Let's not be.
Just
Wait a minute. Hold on, gang.
right
Let's not be insulting towards Charlene. She knows she has to lose some weight. So 3
No, I
pounds
mean
is 3
3
pounds.
No, I'm
okay.
morbidly obese. They've diagnosed me, but it's not going to happen. I know when I go there, I'm not going to be 3 pounds lighter, so he's going to go crazy.
My BMI is 35.
Oh, I don't know about that BMI thing. I'm morbidly obese.
My ass cap.
that's
My ass
morbidly
cap
obese.
is 3.4. But anyway, it's a music joke. Yeah.
He just, I don't know what his thing is, but like he showed me I had the trigger finger and I had the surgery. So he showed me he never did surgery and his finger's still. But I said he's got a medical degree and he's got a lot more, I mean, because I tried to get him to sign something that I couldn't work with my bad hand. Oh, God, he went crazy. He wouldn't sign it.
I just wanted to lose so much weight that people would look at me and go, "Have you seen Alex lately? Has he got cancer?" You know.
Right.
He does.
And well, I may. I don't know if I have it, Phil.
You have a touch of the good.
He outside of PSAs, he has not been able to find a sign of anything. And
Are
he
you going to
looked
do a biopsy?
only if necessary. You know, he does.
Don't you want one?
No, he's not worried about it.
I got it.
He's not worried about it. He says that at your age, there's a good chance you've got prostate cancer, but a very slow one. No,
it takes forever though.
No, it takes forever. He says, and I give you hormones. He said I can keep you alive till you're 95. And I said and I looked at him and I said I was planning on living to be 100. So. But no, at my age, it's not. That's not going to be the thing that's going to get me. What I have now is I get cramps in my hands a lot. So
I have that too. Arthritis, right?
Well, no, it's not
My
arthritis.
father used to say arthritis.
No, it's like it gets like
arthritis.
They start doing
what
this.
gets rid of the cramps? Is it magnesium?
I supposedly, but I also find if I do this with my back, it goes away.
Yeah.
There's something in my back that's causing it.
Well,
the small
I
nerve,
discovered something through that Ray has also discovered, which is a roller, a nubby roller, and when I roll on that, I feel
one of those.
great. Oh yeah,
those are like having your own chiropractor in the house.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, anyway, there's the theme.
No, the theme.
Oh, the theme.
All right.
Here, that's the dreaded theme.
The end of the year. I'm in the week.
Yeah, he's going to play it 20 minutes early.
So what do you know about Mackie mixers, Phil? Are they okay?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
I need a mixer. Should I get a Mackie?
I don't know. I'll have to let you know. Anyway, that's it. That's it for this week. If I'm not here on Tuesday, it's because none of that equipment worked that I tried to put in. But then, of course, I just reinstall what I took out. Anyway, but I'm sure it'll all work, and we'll have a great show on Tuesday. Not like we did. This was a great show tonight, actually. Charles Wallace, thank you so much. Phil Meyer, thank you. Jeff Stein, of course, thank you. Charlene Martinez, always a pleasure. Kevin, what is? Oh, he's doing a little finger trick there. Josh Wheeler, great hearing from you. And of course, there's Ray Renati. And Tim, thank you too. Tim's the guy with the picture of the phone. Everybody, I think it would be very nice if you would wave goodbye to the audience out there. And they can all wave back, and I'll wave at you too. Okay, bye-bye, everybody. There they go. Okay, how about that? That's our citizens panel. Let me close down the Skype lines here because Jack Bishop has to use them next for the intersection, which follows immediately over this same GabNet. We'll be back again on Tuesday, right after Damian Chaplin is here with The Exchange. I'll be here at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her,
Tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.